Hey, Thomas here again with Polyplastic, ready to make another build. We are again working on the Samurai project. This is just a book, a sketch of things that I have to build with. If you'll remember last time, we built the Kabuto. I'm sure I mispronounced everything in here, so once again I will apologize. I'm Texan and probably am mispronouncing these Japanese words, something fierce. Today we're going to build a Menpo. If you don't know what a Menpo is, it is a half mask worn by samurais. These masks were typically fierce looking, distorted looking, grotesque looking creatures meant to strike fear into the hearts of their enemies just by the sight of them. I am going to use similar techniques that we've used before. I made this, which looks like a very weird thing, but if you looked at the picture or go back and look at it, it's very similar in terms of shape. This is just to give me structure as I'm pushing the plastic on. So I'm going to use this, pile on a bunch of polyplastic onto the top of it to get the shape so that it easily fits around my face properly, and I'll be able to correct the shape because I mean it's rough made out of cardboard. I'm also going to use my buddy Jeff. Jeff here is a bunch of cardboard with masking tape and a nose and some ears for alignment. I'm going to use Jeff as a buddy to help me hold the mask as I work on it, so I'm not just like laying it flat on the table, because we've talked about polyplastic is activated by heat, and if I'm trying to heat and reshape and I'm putting it on the glass table, it's just going to flatten out. And that won't be any good for anybody because I don't have a flat face. It's pretty pointy in places. Also, Jeff's a big head like I am. I know a lot of you other guys out there may have a ginormous head, and those styrofoam ones that they sell at the store, unless you're shaped like an alien or have a child's head, they're not accurate size. So I made my own knowing that it would fit because the crown is a helmet template that I use quite often when I'm building stuff out of cardboard. So I know it will fit. It is relatively close to my head size. So we are going to use Jeff and that other jacked up looking thing, along with some of these other things that are scrolling by my hand, like I'm holding it. Alright, to get started, I took some of the pellets and I've got it heating up over here. I took, in the description you notice there was wax paper and tape. I took my cardboard mold, we'll call it a mold, yeah, that sounds good. I took my cardboard mold, covered it with the wax paper, taped it on the back so that it stayed secure. That way the plastic doesn't stick to the tape, and I'm going to use that, push it all over. And like I said, this is just a rough template, I'm going to make it go to that shape, and then I'll trim the edges and all of that stuff to make it better. Alright, I trimmed it up, and this is what I came up with. So I've got the cutout for where the teeth are going to go. I drew a line down the middle just to try and keep it as symmetrical as possible. When you're freehanding, it's a little hard. So I think it's pretty close to my drawing. There very similar. I went ahead and got rid of all the rough edges. There's still some, but I figured once I heated it back up to start laying down layers on top of it that it would get rid of all these little frays and stuff. I also went ahead and bored using a Dremel where the front teeth are going to go. So there'll be some front teeth here, and then there will be the big fangs sticking out all the way along the back side. I also need to drill a hole here, and there's one that goes down here. This is called the, however you pronounce that. It's an interesting reason why there's a hole down there. It's for spit, or sweat. So when the samurai was trying to clear his throat, or if there was sweat dripping down, or I guess even technically blood, it would have a place to drain instead of staying in his face, right next to his mouth. So trying to make it as authentic as possible. I'll make sure that I include the hole down there too. I've taken the strips and I've cut it down into an individual scale. Okay, kind of shaped like a home plate from baseball. Obviously it's going to take different sizes, so I've also cut up some that are smaller. I haven't put the cuts on them yet to make them into that shape yet, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start laying on the scales here. Alright, I've got the scales put on, and I even put a little decorative line in his nose. I am going to start making teeth. Alright, here is my end result. This is my Menpo. Like I said, I don't know that it really looks like a dragon, but I mean, it does have scales and it's got fangs, so it is similar to one. Now all that's left is paint, and we're going to try and make our armor kind of match as far as color scheme goes. So alright, I realize it may be a little hard to see what exactly is going on here because it is like the paint that I use is extremely glossy, so it kind of blurs the screen a little bit. You got your teeth here that protrude out. These are usually pretty grotesque looking on most samurai masks, simply, like I said before, to strike fear into the hearts of the competitors. Once I get this rub and buff paint onto here, it's gonna kind of dull it down just a little bit so you can see them, pick up the details. I have finished. I have finished the painting. You can see I added cord to it. It's the same cord I used in the Kabuto. I just braided it and then burnt the ends and tied it in a knot underneath there, so it worked out for me. I put two, one for the top and one for the back side to secure it because it is pretty heavy. I didn't want all the weight to be back here and then it just be like drooping my ear down or anything. I think it turned out pretty amazing. It really, really goes with the Kabuto. Here's a quick picture. Selfie in the bathroom. I used all polyplastic for this. There is no cheating on it like I did with the Kabuto and used a helmet. So it's the strips I used to make the dragon scale, the pellets I used to make the basic form and the teeth, and then I just used that cord to make the strap, and that's pretty much it. You could use the same technique for basically any type of mask. I've even contemplated doing Mardi Gras type masks, the festival masks, and maybe that's a project later on in the future when we finish this monstrosity of a build for the samurai armor. This is the second piece out of several. Remember this guy from the last one, old Jeff. Jeff's probably going to end up wearing this until I get the mannequin I want to hold all this. Don't forget to go to polyplastic.com. They have all the stuff you need, especially for this build with the exception of the cord. They've got pellets, they've got strips, they've got sheets, they've got color pellets, they've got putties, silicone putty molds that you can make. Check them out, try some of their products. I promise you won't be disappointed. The stuff you can create is pretty much endless with this stuff. I am just a few pages deep in this with a few dozen more to go, I'm sure. I hope you learned something from this video. I hope you try this at home, or at least some form of this to make part of your costume or all of your costume. And most importantly of all, I hope you have fun making stuff, because ultimately that's what it's all about. So, get to building samurai armor. That was close to hitting my foot. Samurai